Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Make sure we have the recordings on. Awesome. All right. That's quite a few for my live already. All right. Let's get some protein in before we start the day. Sip that throughout. All right. So early Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas Eve. We have not a whole lot to cover today. We did have some data pre-market, which I'll pull up right now. We had some 8:30 data, durable goods, GDP quarter 3, and durable goods delayed. So got some of the October reports out. We have some more at 9:15 here in 10 minutes, and then 10 o'clock we have consumer confidence. Tomorrow is obviously Christmas Eve, Christmas on Thursday, half day tomorrow, no market on Thursday. I will not be live tomorrow or Thursday. I'll probably repeat that throughout the stream today. And then Friday, no scheduled news. And then next week, same thing. New Year's Eve on Wednesday next week, New Year's Day, Thursday, Friday, same exact thing. So we'll be looking at pretty much identical weeks, not really much going into the end of the year. What I will cover for today, and it's kind of funny, we only have a 0.2% gap with news on. We go to gap fill by size for Qs. First thing that I always check. And we're looking at second bracket. We have a 70% chance of filling this today. So we should have a pretty immediate pop to the upside. And then from there, we'll make our bias. We'll see what we have for the initial bounce break. Morning, Eddie. How you doing? Rebo, how you doing? So not too much else for today. Well, not a whole lot in the first place. And it is probably the lowest volume week of the year. I don't think that we get anything more than this. We are well on our way back up towards those higher, equal highs rather. We had higher lows formed, so we have a pretty nice trend line here, pretty concise trend line. And that's going all the way up to 629 again. That's that gap that we have from November 3rd. And then even if you want to drag the support resistance level down a little bit, it's a pretty good level right there at 625.94 as well. What accounts do I want to trade today? So we could get the Apex ones. I'm already locked out of Lucid. I got the profit target for Lucid last night. Locked it out on that one trade that we had longs on pretty much right at Globex open, 6 o'clock, wherever that was. Right there. There we go. So that was an entry right at 25.7 made, which I've never had slippage like this on Lucid before. It was at 72, did a market closure, and I ended up only getting 61. I don't know what that was about. So I have 2 more $50 days on these, and we'll get another max payout. And then I will be moved live with Lucid, I believe. What's going on, K-Rad? Good morning. Terrence, good morning. JK, good morning. Not too much in-depth analysis on Qs this morning, but what we can go and take a look at, which I don't even know what the ticker for it is. What's silver? SI, MSI. So I was told this morning, I don't know if Steve's in here yet, I was told that silver has, so each tick on silver is a cent. And it didn't always used to be like this. Silver is just now taking off, and it has been for like a month and a half. Silver used to trade at $20. Now it's at 70. So each tick, I believe, is either a penny or half a penny. And each one of those ticks is $25. So if you guys didn't know something that you wanted to degen on, instead of NQ, it's a little smoother moving as well. But this thing apparently has $25 per tick. Merry Christmas to you as well, KB. Merry Christmas Eve. I won't ever go and trade silver, but it's just a little something funny from this morning. So I don't know if I want to trade. I'll bring the Apex accounts up as well. I only have the 2 of them so far. I'm waiting for them to do another sale to really go and add in on most of them. Don't steal my password, anyone. I just have the 2 right now. I had 3. I accidentally bought one on the. What's going on, Bob? Welcome in. I think this is your first day. I accidentally bought one on that. I don't know what platform it is. Magic Charts, Mystic Charts, whatever it might be. My preferred Tradeify account, Bob, is the growth ones. I actually bought another 5 of those last night because they, and this is an announcement for everyone in here, if you do like Project X with Tradeify, they are canceling the ability or ending the ability to purchase new Project X accounts with Tradeify tonight at 5 o'clock EST, 5 o'clock PM EST. So I bought another 5. As long as you have the 5 already or have the accounts already, you can activate them. You can reset them, do whatever you want with Project X. But 5 o'clock tonight's the deadline to be able to buy more growth accounts on Project X. Looking to get a few Tradeify, I get their Tradeivate, then it doesn't matter for you. Growth accounts are very similar to the Lucid Pros. These are definitely the top 2 props that I would use and or recommend. So I actually have Tradeify Project X. I don't think I do have it on here already. So I just got these accounts. I'm on gold. What the heck? Gold had a 30-point drop off that news. Crazy. I quite literally just got these last night. So I'll have these as reserves. I put the copy trading on these. I'll trade these. In the event that I blow the other 5, I'll have these ones Lucid going, and then the beginning half of this coming year, I'm going to be working on growing up to 20 accounts on Apex. Okay, I know I already covered this a little bit. We don't have a significant gap right now. We have a 70% chance of going to fill this. So I will be looking for upside into open. And that upside move is going to be targeting. I'm not going to play it, but we should go and be targeting an IB high break for the day. Typically with gaps like this, when they're pretty small, and especially with us being right at previous day's low right here, we're just below it actually, I'll expect a little wick down. We'll take out that pre-market low, which is the news wick low, and then we'll go up to yesterday's gap fill, which is 619.17. That's what I'm expecting into open. We'll draw out our previous day's 50. London 50 did essentially nothing yesterday. It held up a little bit into the afternoon. I guess it did work pretty well in the afternoon. In the morning, it didn't work at all. It's a terrible morning with London 50. So our previous day's 50 is sitting at, our high was made pretty much right at that 9:30 wick open. Low was made at the 10:30 IB break. Oh, why would you do that? There we go. So there's our previous day's 50 right there. And then our London 50, London high 4:30 a.m., London low off of that news. I don't really see anything that lines up. Maybe London 50 lines up a little bit with that gap fill if we have a wick over it. But we'll wait for some levels to develop and open. All in all, it's only a $1 move. So if the price will probably trade like it did yesterday. And in the event that we have chop, we'll just trade the IB. We'll get out of here at 10:30, 10:45, 11, whenever it breaks, just like we did yesterday. And then for the sold cash secured puts, we have the TSLA 21 open, and the NVDX never got filled on. And this one was targeting a 16 for next week. Never got filled on Friday, unfortunately. Maybe if we get a good enough dip down, we'll open that. Mainly just going to be looking at TSLL. And the reason that we went aggressive at the 21s with this is because we have 7 free days of theta decay on that. 7 free days of theta. Good morning, guys. How we doing? Simon, what's up, Zinc? What's the score on this new Apex assignment you're tackling? So I am looking to, I have 5 on Lucid right now. These ones are just about to get a payout. These 5, I'll pull up the stats. I don't really care. I just need, and this is with a delete a day. Last week, Lucid had the outage. So this is another $380 off. And also this win rate, unfortunately, coincides with that. So it's not off by that much, but 6 of these trades are not on here. And that's from the losses last week when they were immediately closed once the stop loss was set. So these have another 2 days until a payout. I have the 5 on Tradeify, and then I'm looking to grow 20 on Apex. That's the goal for Apex. I'm looking to get 20 of these accounts. And then once I have all those, Tradeify will be the only exception because these 50Ks, you need 150 for it to qualify as a trading day. So these ones I'll probably trade 4 MNQ on instead of 2, or even 1 instead of trading 1 MNQ on Lucid and Apex, I'll trade 2 MNQ on that. I'm going to stack 20 of these Apex funded accounts, and then I'm just going to aim for $50 a day. And I'm at 500 pass so far on the first 2, so I need another $1,000 or 900. Once these get funded, $50 a day doesn't seem like much. I accidentally muted myself. $50 a day doesn't seem like much for the Apex accounts. You need to reach $1,500 profit to get a payout of $1,500 on the accounts, or go just past that, and then whatever your drawdown is, yada yada. $50 a day is 30 trading days, and you'll get a $1,500 payout. And if I'm doing that times 20 accounts, that's a $30,000 payout in 30 trading days. Just aiming for $50 a day on 20 Apex accounts, which is what I'm going to, or I already have started doing into the new year. So I'd like to have these all prompted and open and funded by the end of January. And then from the end of January to middle of March, if all goes well, then I'll get a 30K payout from them. $1,600 for buffer. And then anything over the buffer is what you can take, Roland. If that's the case, then I'll aim for $100 a day for the first round, which instead of doing 50, it's just 2 MNQ with a 50-point price target, which I think is achievable as well. Either way, it's going to be aiming for 25 points. It's just dependent on if I do 1 MNQ or 2 MNQ. Question about your size for prop firm accounts. You mentioned in a couple of your posts 2 micro contracts. You ramp that up a little bit on the 50K account, seeing those higher thresholds for profit. The 50Ks for Tradeify aren't really that much different, but yes, I will do 2 to 4 MNQ as opposed to 1 to 2 MNQ. So if I enter 1 MNQ on Lucid, and it's dependent on the volatility as well. Yesterday, the day before that, Thursday last week, Wednesday last week, we haven't really been having that explosive a price action, especially the initial balance that we had on Friday last week. I think I got in with, I actually don't remember what size I did on Apex. I don't know where to go and look at my past orders, but it was a 140 point break to the IB high or low. So I just took one MNQ on Lucid. 140 points on one MNQ is $280. And that's just with the IB trade. So 2 MNQ, and the risk is the break of the IB low or the IB high, depending on which one you're targeting. The risk to that position is 1-to-1. So why would I want to risk 480 to make 480 when I can, and I know it's still 1-to-1 R regardless, but I'd rather size down even to 1 MNQ. I like that strategy, $50 a day times 20 accounts. I'll try that too. What are my chickens doing? Going in the road. Yeah, $50 a day, 20 times 20 accounts, still $1,000 a day. If you want to do $100 a day, just size up to 2 MNQ. But I'm going to aim just for $50 a day. That's $1,000 a day, and I think it's with how low of a target it is. You're either going to risk 50 to 100 bucks a day, or you're going to make 50 to 100. You're going to have to go on 20 straight losing days to blow the account, or get 1,000 out of 1,500 of the drawdown out of the way. And then vice versa, 25, 30 winning days. That's including losses that you're inevitably going to have. And then that'll get you to the payout. But there's absolutely no rush into passing the account. There's no rush into getting the payout when you're doing it over 20 different accounts. MGC has to dump at some point. Just went straight up since Sunday. The FOMO is high on this one. The reason that it's pushing as much as it is, Eddie, is because of the money that the Fed's dumping into the market. It's going to stay up for a while because of quantitative easing. So just be wary of that. I saw your IBR stat video. Thank you for the nice Christmas gift, of course, of course. I have a question. How many strategies do you trade, and do you plan on doing a video on the IBB strategy you tweeted about yesterday? I prefer not to overcomplicate it. I just use the London 50 and the IB. That's it. When I first got edgeful, I got a little too in-depth with how many reports there are. I used to go and use the opening candle continuation, the orb, 15-minute orb, pretty much all the reports that were available on here. I was swapping through day to day. I found that the IB stat's probably just one of the better ones that you can use. So I stick with that, and then I use the London 50. I simplify it down to that. That is pretty much all I use. How do I copy trade them all? I have these two different tabs open. This is typically what I do. So we have a built-in trade copier on Project X. I have two different tabs open. These are 10 accounts right here. And then Trade-Evate is going to be another tab. And this one also has that built-in trade copier. It has a little slippage on it. As you can see, it's just $2. So I'm going to use the built-in trade copier on Trade-Evate, and then the built-in trade copier on these. I know it's kind of a hassle swapping between tabs, but only trading 1 to 2 MNQ. And most of the time, I've been putting limit buy orders in, or limit sell orders, since we're entering at 50% of the IB. My entrance is, why do I keep saying entrance? I got to get that out. My entry is like maybe 5 points off in the delay that it takes me to go and put the orders in on each one of these tabs. But since it's limit buy orders, it usually fills all at the same time. Tradeify has a 5 account limit. Does it? It's not as liberal as Apex. The accounts. Yeah. Tradeify has a 5 account limit. Lucid has a 5 account limit. pretty much everything but Apex. There are 2 prop firms that don't have a 5 account limit. Well, 4 actually. You can only have 3 accounts on Alpha. You can only have 2 accounts to start on, I think it's Buell Knox, and then you have to build, or Blue Knox, whatever it is. And on the opposing side of that, there's 2 other ones which I don't use, Holoprime, that lets you have 11 accounts, and Top One Futures lets you have like 7 or 9. But these ones, Lucid and Tradeify, absolutely the top 2, and then Apex. The only reason this one's not up there is the trailing intraday drawdown. Lucid and Tradeify is where I would start the journey, though, if you were looking to acquire a whole bunch. The quantitative easing amount is negligible compared to market size. I can't figure out how to use Tradeivate. If I wasn't in the live on Friday with Steve's help, I would not have been able to figure out how Tradeivate works. I literally would have no idea how to set this up, but it's not really that bad considering that we do our charting on QQQ. I just go over and do a limit order, same as that I would do on Project X. So it's not as bad as I've made it out to be, but it's still not enjoyable. You may have covered it already, but what's the score with the new Apex assignment you mentioned on X? The score is in like a payout from him? Or what's the reward that I'm going to get from it? The reward's going to be a $30,000 payout. That's what I'm going to aim for. And if it takes 30 trading days, 40 trading days, I'm fine with that. If you guys didn't know, we have, where's his name? Posted some of his stuff on the leaderboards in here. Randy. So Randy and I had a talk not too long ago where he does the same thing. He has 25 or 50K accounts on Apex. It takes him 40 trading days to get a payout on those accounts. He copy trades all 20 of them. He aims for $50 to $200 a day. It took him 40 trading days to get a $40,000 payout. So $1,000 a day. And that's, I think, on the 50Ks. So I'm going to be aiming for the same thing, but on the 25K accounts. And there's not going to be any rush to it. And then all that money that I get, well, the majority of that money is going to go right back into selling options, and we'll get the portfolios, the 10K and the 100K accounts back on track. I got a bit screwed today trying to play the London IB, expected to break the high, even though the likelihood was not greater than 60%. It went to break down. Might have to just focus on New York. Well, a good way to avoid that as well is anytime the IB by rejection, mainly on Thursdays is when this happens. I'll pull up the Thursday stat because it happens very, very often on a Thursday. Thursdays usually have like a 50% chance to 60, like, yeah, this week. Thursday, if the highs form first, 53.85% chance we're going to break the low. No need to really trade that. The closer it is to 50-50, which is the chance that price has of going up or down, the worse it is for you to go and take that trade. I like to see it usually like 65 to 70%, if not a little bit more. No, just general what's going on. It's a 300K E-value you're going to pass in the community. No, it's I will be trading it live every day, yes, but these are live as often as I can. I won't be taking any trades outside of New York session because I have no idea how to I have no idea how to go and trade Tradeivate on my phone, which I don't really want to know how to. Sometimes I wish I didn't know how to trade Project X on my phone. Anyway, yes, I will be trading. These are all going to be 25K accounts. They're not going to be 30K accounts or 300K accounts. Sorry. They're going to be 25K accounts. The reason being, I think the Apex 25K accounts have the best risk reward in terms of what you're putting in. You're putting in if they do the 90% off sale, it's $19 per account and then $84 to activate it, or $84 total. And you have $1,500 in drawdown. And since I only trade M and Qs, there's no reason for me to go and get like a 50K, 100K, 150K account. Is there a free trial to try out edgeful? I believe edgeful does have a 7-day free trial, yes. What's going on, Kowalski? Kowalski analysis. Anyone get that? Oh, we're open there. Just about got our gap fill already. And that was a couple of seconds. It was 30 seconds and we already got the gap fill. So that stat already fulfilled for today. We just took a look at that. Gap fill by size. Geez, that open really crept up on us. Gap fill by size, I think we were in that first bracket actually. But either way, it was a 70% chance that we wouldn't fill that up on Qs. And we're already all the way up to previous day's 50. Holy. So we're definitely bullish into open, as covered. What we're going to be looking for now is a pullback to either, if we get lucky enough, London 50. More than likely, we're going to sweep London high right here, and we'll get a nice wick down to previous day's 50. We'll go up, target 621, yesterday's high. With current prop space, in my opinion, the best is to leverage into 40 plus 50K accounts, 200 risk per trade. Yep. I don't know where you're going to pick up 40 accounts. I was going to go long. I scalped that, should have held. That makes two of us. That was a explosive opening candle. $2 already. And that is 100-point move in the first minute of market open, first 2 minutes. Very explosive. So I'll probably trade with the eval. I get this question a lot too. With the evals, I usually trade 2 to 4x the size. Depends on how the movement is. Same as I was just covering. I'll probably trade on. I'll try Apex today. Project X is a little bit easier to follow, but I'll trade on Apex. I gotta get those 2 accounts passed. That was a crazy move up right there, Roland. And we got that wick over London high. We're getting a pullback all the way to London 50 now. Probably not going to go and take a trade into open. As it stands right now, our IB stat is the low formed first. Obviously, the first 5-minute candle hasn't even closed yet, but we have the low formed first at 618.05 and the high at 620.43. Really nice sweep at London high. So I want either, and this is in the next 11 minutes. We're not going to take this trade anytime soon. Going to get a move down to 619.70 for previous day's 50, or move down to 618.77 for London 50, and then we'll look to go back up, look to go long. We also have a cycle right here, 25.7. $5X lucid, 5X trade, 5X take profit, 20X Apex, and then more others, which are not my priority for now. The Apex is my priority for the moment. It's actually what I have those accounts grouped up as, 30K payout. If I have to get a buffer, then I'm just going to aim for, I'll size up to 2 MNQ on the trades instead of 1 and just aim for $100 a day. And then after that buffer is established, then go to 50. But what I covered with Steve is not that any of you know Steve. Is he in here? No, he's not. If you do $50 a day, you're going to alert those Apex eval plays. Yeah, I'm going to do a lot better at alerting all the trades I take. Like the one I took last night, I may not have alerted in the past, but I did. It was right at 6:04. So these Apex ones are just going to be during New York session for the IB trade. Anyway, if you do $50 a day on those Apex accounts, it'll take you just under 2 months to get a payout, and that will be a 30K payout. So you can get 6 of those payouts in your 240,000 just off of Apex for making $50 a day, which I don't know about you is kind of like a oh my god moment. I can't imagine they would deny it if you're the only reasons I've heard Apex denies payouts is if you oversize. And then even then, if you do get denied, you trade for another 8 days and you request the payout again. And then you're more than often approved for it. I just have 2 for now, funny guy. Can you guys see the full screen? Yeah, you can. The bottom left, this is where you're going to be able to see how many I have. Eventually, I'm hoping that's going to look, I can't drag it up that much, but eventually this is going to go all the way up to here. I'll figure out how to rearrange the platform a little bit better. We close just under previous day's 50, so no entry on the 5-minute. 15-minute, we're going to look for a wick back down to previous day's 50. We should stay pretty bullish today. We do have news at 10, by the way, of consumer confidence at 10. We should stay pretty bullish because this is the last full trading day before Christmas. So a lot of big money, a lot of algos, retail traders, everyone's going to want to be sent off on a high note. And then tomorrow, if you guys are looking to trade, just go and look at how the Wednesday before Thanksgiving went, or even Black Friday. Both of those replicated the same price action. Still over 25.7 right now. Not really that much going on Tesla. This one's pretty flat. Bitcoin's also down 1%, so that probably means MSTR is down 1%, 2%. MSTR sucks. Such a terrible ticker to hold. I hate it. SPY got up to London high. Barely swept it, but still did sweep London high right there. Just barely got over it. We got 5 minutes to get over previous day's 50 right now. If we make some inversions on the 3 or 5 minute, then I'll switch bias up a little bit. But as it stands right now, I'm going to remain bullish. The movement died down quite a bit. We got a $2 pop. Right on that, the first minute made that high. First 2 minutes made the high. Then we came back down. Is using the volume profile useful? I don't use it. I don't have any thoughts on that. The only thing that I do have is that the more stuff you have moving on your chart, the more indicators, even for edgeful, the more you look at the charts, the more stats that you take a look at, whatever it might be, the more bogged down you're going to get. So refine whatever you're trading down to one strategy or two strategies. As soon as you start mixing stuff, then you get mixed win rates, mixed loss rates as well. So you're looking for an entry of 50% of yesterday's range or off London 50, correct? Yes. Yes. If we close right where we are right now in no man's land, I'm not going to be looking for an entry off either. If we get down to London 50, I'll look for a long there. But if we close right where we are right now, I'm not really going to look for an entry. The only thing I'm going to do, pull up that IB trade. So right now, it's got 3 minutes left on it, then we'll close. Right now, this is what our initial balance is. I'm going to want this midpoint for an entry, and then we're going to target up to the high. This is around 1020, 1025 is when we'll take that trade. And then the stop loss will be 1-to-1. The range that we have on the IB right now is 35 points, or 50 points maybe. Let's see. Where's my box tool on here? Rectangle. So there's our IB right there. So our IB high and low. So it's going to be a 50-point trade if we can get an entry right at 50% of it. It's not a very large range. So you first look for the 50% plays, and if nothing transpires, you look for the IB plays. Yes. Top step just lagged for you. Don't say that, Sam. I don't really care anyway. I'm locked out of Lucid already. SPY's looking stronger today, just like it was yesterday, and it's probably because of silver and insurance. Big tech's not really doing all that much, and crypto's not really doing much either. So we should still replicate the price action, although we didn't yesterday. But we're getting a close over previous day's 50 maybe. Minute 20 left. 5 minute looks pretty good. If we get a close there, then we can take 2 MNQ, 1 MNQ, and target up to previous day's high. That is quite a ways away. I don't know if we'll get quite up to that. Any specific reason of using QQQ as opposed to MNQ or NQ? QQQ does not have slippage on it. There's no slip. Well, there is some slippage, but it's not nearly as much as MNQ or NQ. So I do the charting on Qs because it's marginally more accurate than if I were to do it on MNQ. And that just comes from analyzing what the wicks look like on Qs as opposed to on MNQ. Like if we go down to these ones from this morning, we can see that these are 3 ascending wicks, even though it's very, very tiny. These wicks are all making higher lows, which could be the difference of you getting into a support bounce there, or you could end up getting into no trade. Whereas if you go and take a look at them on MNQ, the 3 wicks are not all making higher lows. You have 2 that made a higher low, and then this third one came down, made a lower low than that previous candle, the 845 one, which this one candle could prevent you from getting into a long because you might think that it's going to go and continue lower. And that is the reason that I use Qs to chart. Marginally more accurate. No slippage on the chart. All right, going to be looking for a move down to previous day's 50, and then we're going to target up to previous day's high. And I'll probably, with how large of a trade that is, and the stop loss I'm going to put at 50 points to start. So we're going to go in with 2. It's going to be 1 MNQ per account on Apex. And that is because the range that we're looking for is going to be $1.60. Actually, $2 if we can get down to previous day's 50. Which looks like it lines up with, I don't really have any candles that lines up with from pre-market. 25.707. So I'll go ahead and put the order there. 25.707, buy 2 limit. Still getting used to trade of it as well. So I'm not really going that aggressive with the trades. And then the stop loss on that trade, we'll do a sell to stop right there, 25.675. If that fails, great. If not, then we'll wait to get our IB50. Got $2 on gold. It ran $10. Moved my stop too quick. A $2 move on gold? I don't know what you mean by that, Steve. I'm sorry. Holding London high pretty well right now. I would say prior to 10:15, Bob, is when I take the London 50 and previous day 50 trades. This might move off of London high right to previous day's high. We might have no trade off of it. Yeah, no problem, Shabab. IB50 is down at, where's that line up with? It's at 25, about 25,670. Oh, it's moving up now because we're making a new high, 25,690, 6590. 25,690, what am I saying? Probably not going to be lucky enough to get a fill here. We had really good analysis in the open. We just didn't capitalize on it with how fast it went. I thought for sure that was going to take longer than a minute for us to pivot all the way back up to both through London 50, through previous day's 50, didn't make a wick on the top of the candle, and went all the way up to London high. And that is all with the gap fill support. We also have a overwhelmingly bullish open right now with the opening candle continuation. Screener should be relatively bullish. Not really that I guess it's just Q's. Apple's not doing well. Amazon's not doing well. Netflix, Tesla, Microsoft. Opening range breakout. We already broke out of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, NVDA, Q's, SPY. And then obviously we still have the IB forming. Well, hopefully we get lucky enough for a pullback. You can hope. Nope. Actually, it's almost there now. There we go. That shouldn't be a sweep over London high either because we closed over it. So we should be able to have a bounce coming up here soon. 619.73 is going to be our entry. That's previous day's 50. We were just 12 points off there. Oh, here it comes. How much did it miss it by? Missed it by 4 cents. Oh, that would be tragic. Missed our entry by a point. It went to 708 on that candle. 708.75. That's already 20 points right back up. That's tragic. I draw the previous day's 50 right? I used the magnet for it, so it should be accurate. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That is terribly unfortunate. 30 points. 708, and I had the order at 707, which 707 was accurate, as it missed it on Q's as well. That's a pretty good reaction to start. 30-point reaction off previous day's 50, even though it only missed it by 4 cents. That sucks. Hopefully it goes back down again. If not, then I'll look for a closure over London high and we'll switch it right back up. There's 7 minutes left in the candle. It will line up with the consumer confidence as well. $7.25, nothing. Well, that's coming back down again. Hey, Predator, how you doing? That's so sad. It's coming. Is it still lagging for you, Sam, or is it just that one spot? I just need another steep wick down. And we can get our entry. Another 15 points. That's all I need. And then we'll have the trade open. Stop loss will be just below 50% of the IB. So I'll try 2 on these as well. 707 divided by 2. There we go. They're filled. We'll put the stop at get 2 MNQ. I'll put the stop at 150 on those. And what does that come out to? 670. That's only a 35-point stop. If it keeps falling right through it, then we'll just look for the 50% of the IB trade, which is hitting 50% of right now. Target's going to be up to previous day's high. Here she comes. Yeah, we finally got the entry. So entry's right at 707, and then target is all the way up to that previous day's high right there, 795. I'll put that on. Our first target's going to be IB high. Sell to stop. Sell to limit. Okay, I read that wrong. Should have a bounce off 25.7 as well. If it keeps falling through, then this is an unfortunate read. The reason I'm in 2M&Q on Tradeify is because this is still on the eval as well. And these are also an eval, but these are how I'm going to be sizing on the 25Ks regardless. So if this candle closes right where it is right now, then I'll probably exit early if it doesn't end up going and hitting the stop loss. If it does hit the stop loss, then let's move on to the next one. With the IB strategy, does it also work for NQ? Have you looked at the data? The IB strategy doesn't work as well in NQ because the data is off a little tiny bit. If I pull up NQ and then go to IB by rejection, the data is off by a little bit. So this is NQ, 60%, 40%, 75, 60, or 75, 25. And if we pull up Qs, you can see that's off by quite a bit. So I do not use it on NQ. I use it on Qs, and that's it. And the reason being the slippage. So still in it right now. We want to close over previous day's 50. If we get a closure under, it has 2 minutes left, I'm going to stop out early on the trade. Our risk will be like $70 maybe. See if 25.7 can hold. We're right at 50% of the IB, but there's still 30 minutes left for it to form, so not ideal on that. It could hold it through consumer confidence. It's down 81 right now. What's going on, Monopoly? Good morning. How you doing? Sean, good morning. Patrick, JK, K-Red, I think I already said hi to you guys. Minute left. If it closes right where it is right now, then I'm going to exit. YM stat seems to be the best. I actually don't trade YM at all. Pretty close to the stop right now on both. Wicked right to it. That was a really fast wick too. I don't need lucid open. Let me add that 5-second one, see how fast that wick was. That's unfortunate. 670. We got it in a 5-second wick right there. And then jumped right back up. If this goes all the way back up and closes, well, it's not going to close over previous day's 50, but if we see the consumer confidence shoot it back up, I'm going to be a little upset because that was a very unfortunate 5-second wick. It was actually less than 5 seconds because it dropped and then wicked back. Don't you dare shoot back up. I'm going to be so upset. Here's the consumer confidence news. Hopefully we can stay right here. Sorry about that loss. Hopefully we can stay right here for that data. We have 30 minutes until our IB is formed. We'll want to enter right here, and then target's going to be the high. If we go to our IB by rejection for Wednesday on Qs, IB by rejection on a Wednesday, Tuesday. It's not Wednesday. What am I saying? IB by rejection for a Tuesday. And we are looking at, if the low is formed first, 85%, that might mean a loss is overdue. That would be unfortunate. Hopefully this actually goes and makes a new low. I'd prefer that. 85% is a little too high. Average is at 73. So we took a $75 hit on Apex with a 1 MNQ on that. And then I had 2, and it scaled same way, 35-point loss, so negative 150 on Tradeify. But we'd still be in it right now if it weren't for that quick wick right there, which was weird. It's probably going to go make equal lows now. It's fine. On to the next one. $29 minutes to go. And then we want it to, I'd prefer if it went and made a new low now. Ended up being a sweep of that high. Closed over on the 5 and 15, which is a little disappointing. And it's almost making a new IB low. What YM stats? I'll go and take a look at those while we're waiting. So we'll do YM. Is this for the initial balance breakdown? Those are both pretty good, yeah. Only issue is I don't trade YM. MicroDAO. It's the 15-minute time frame. I have no idea what the tick points are on these. Is it? Oops. So what's the tick point on the mini YM? I'm guessing it's probably $1 per point. And that's making a 250-point range. That's crazy. You're accidentally on Monday. Well, it's still pretty good for a Tuesday. 66.78. Not very far off. All right, there's a new IB low. So now we're going to switch up our bias completely, and we're going to look for the IB by rejection to the downside. We get a little unfortunate or a little unlucky with that bounce off previous day's 50, which is okay. It's going to happen. IB trade, we're going to be looking at this stat now for Tuesday. The IB high form first, so we're going to be looking to target the downside. Our entry is going to be preferably right at IB 50, and then we're going to target down to the current IB low. Just made a new IB low. Correct, Bob, yeah. I had answered all your questions right before I even read what you were asking. MGC is doing exactly what you thought it was going to do. Is it dropping like a rock now? Yeah. $5 drop since open. There you go. So again, new low made on the IB. Our 50% mark is 619.25. That's going to be our entry if we can get back up there, and then we're going to be targeting to the downside. If this ends up being a week like I think 3 weeks ago where I took a couple small losses, I'm okay with that. This isn't a very good price. Not today. Today's pretty good price, but yesterday was rough. And unfortunately, yesterday we never got an entry at that IB. So it can be a little more aggressive today. I get so many friend requests on Discord. It's crazy. There's so many different scammers. What time is your IB form? 10:30. We have another 24 minutes to go. As it stands right now, we have the high formed first at 620.72, and then we have the low made at 617.79. And that was largely due to our consumer confidence right there, which came out at 10. Consumer confidence missed by just under 2 points, 1.9, which is well below 100%, which is not what you want to see. Consumer confidence, the measure's the same as PMI. PMI comes in at the 50, and the 50 is the baseline. Anything over 50 is bullish. Anything under 50 is bearish. Consumer confidence, same thing, but it's for 100. So our prediction was 91, came in at 89.1. We want to get this back up another 12 points. But anyway, at the very least, I want to see an entry at London 50. Preferably, we get up to the IB 50 and then take a 1-to-1R right there. And I'll do 2 M&Q on that again. Stop loss will be high of day. Take profit will be low of day. Once it comes in, triple bottom on MSTX, you'd think. This thing is just plummeting again, isn't it? Let's see. Terrible mistake getting back into that. Yeah, of course, it's doing that bad again today. It was at 170 pre-market yesterday, and then it ended up dropping all the way back down to 163. Such a pain. So our entry should be, we line this up as just below this candle's open. So our entry should be about 25,689. That's 2 days in a row that kind of got shafted by that 25.7 psych level. Entered over that level, and then it just ended up dumping right through it again. Welcome in everyone joining from YouTube and X. Hopefully you're having a great day today. Minus the loss that we just took. But we'll recover from that, not too worried. And if not, then I'll just take another loss. I think yesterday I ended up down 120 on the day, or 130 on Apex. Oh, I still have that sell order in. That would be bad. I forgot to remove that. Excuse me. All right, 5 minutes left on this candle. If it wicks, it would be crazy if this got back over London 50 and then made a new high. 20 minutes is too much time left on the IB to form, so I'm not going to be looking to front run it by that much. The reason I went long on that last trade was because of previous day's 50, not because of the IB trade. But in the next 10 minutes here, we're going to be looking for an entry off of the IB 50. 10 to 15 minutes. And we have a pretty good stat for that today. It's actually saying bearish now because we made a new low. One of my favorite parts about the IB trade is your ability to switch your bias as fast as you can, or as fast as you're able to, because anytime it goes and makes a new range high or low, it completely switches with what you're targeting for the day. Previous days 50 and London 50 have really been letting us down. Last week and a half, 2 weeks especially. Yesterday, I guess I just traded it incorrectly, though. So maybe it wasn't London 50's fault. Today it was. It could have gone down to the 5 minute time frame, too. That would have saved us a little bit of that loss. I actually just got a really nice rejection off London 50 right there. Is that the gone box? Yes, it is. The gone box is, it's under the Fibonacci tools. And then once you draw it in way up here. Once you draw in the gone box, go into the settings on it. You want to get rid of all of the time levels, because if you have these activated, it's going to look like a checkerboard. So you want to get rid of all of those. Unhighlight those, and then I only have 0, 0.5, and 1 active. And then the transparency level I have at 20% as well. If you have it any more than that, then you can't really see the candles behind it. And you can do either one. You can use the Fibonacci retracement. I'd prefer using the gone box. You can also use the rectangle too. Rectangle's a little thinner than the gone box. And the midpoint's also going to be thinner. How do you know where to anchor it? I use the weak magnet tool on TradingView, weak magnet, and it automatically clicks. So if I just drag it anywhere, it automatically pings to whatever the low or the high of a candle is. See? And then that gives you your range. TradingView is very intuitive with the tools that they offer you. You just got to take the time to learn them. You were mentioning taking a short off London 50. What would you have done to seen? What would you want to have seen to take that short? 15-minute time frame. You could have taken it off the 5 minute. I'm looking right now. I'm looking for price to get to 50% of the IB and then back down. The past 2 days, we haven't gotten our retracement. Friday was a perfect example of what we usually want to see. So that's 50% of the IB, hit it 4 times in a row perfectly. Our entry was right there at 10:30 on Friday, entered long, and then ended up closing the trade early for a pretty nice win just before it hit the IB. And then it ended up never hitting it for Friday. So there's that. But even on Thursday as well, last Thursday, same thing, got 50% retracement, broke it. Wednesday, same exact thing, 50% retracement, broke it down. So we just have to wait. So you're looking for a break of the IB, looking for a retracement and then a break. I'm trading the initial balance by rejection report on Qs. And we're looking at this stat, the left one, 78.95% chance that we go and break the low today because the high formed first. And we have 15 minutes left. So we want price to preferably get right up to 50%. I'm actually going to go ahead and put an order in right there. And it's going to be 25, should be about 25,690 based on what this chart looks like. With this, I can go ahead and draw it in actually. So our entry with the IB high and the IB low. Why is that purple? What in the world? Not going to be putting the order in quite yet because there's still 15 minutes left, but we're going to be looking at a 25,690. 25,690 is what we're going to be looking for. I'll go ahead and put a mark there just so we can put the limit order in when the time comes. 25,690. First anchor at market open, then the low the first 15 minute, or do you have a YouTube video answering my question? I have a YouTube, if you're looking for the London 50 or IB, I just posted the IB 50 YouTube video yesterday. So it's on Mr. Zinc X on YouTube. SPY low is still formed first. Actually, I haven't taken a look at SPY. SPY might be stronger than Qs. Okay, that's a little bit of an issue. Yeah, usually you want to see these line up. The only good news for SPY is the stat for the low break is only 50-50. So this one is not statistically significant for it to break the high or the low first. 50-50 whether it's going to happen. But retracement is after the break by report now. Retracement is before the break. So we want this to retrace back up to 50%, and then we want it to go down. SPY, yeah, it's really weird. Oh, excuse me. The low is still intact. SPY is a lot stronger today, just like it was yesterday. Qs is weaker. I've been trading for 6 years, Brian. It's crazy to say. I'm 26 now. 6 years worth of trading. All right, still a little too much time in this candle for us to take the front run entry. So we want at least 7 minutes left on this candle. The closer it is to forming or closing, the better off we are for taking that trade. Ideally, and this happened last week actually. Let's see if I can find the day that it happened. Yeah, right here. Last Thursday, we go and take a look at SPY's chart. We had a break of the IB high, even though the high formed first on Qs, meaning we were targeting the downside, and then that ended up hitting both statistics. So SPY broke its high first because the low was formed first, and then Qs ended up, you can see right when it happened, right at 12:15, Qs ended up taking the low. So in your 15-minute entry, you take the entry with a limit order right at 50%. No other qualifications like 15-minute body close on the IB 50. Correct. Yep. The IB 50 is a little bit looser than the previous day's 50 or London 50 entries. So we don't need it to retest perfectly. We just want it to at least wick to that level, and then that's our entrance. Entry, that's our entry. I got to stop saying entrance. I have no idea where that came from. Right now it's at London 50, which on any other day it'd be a really good rejection, but right now I want it to get back up to 50%. And ideally, SPY gets all the way back up to 686.24. And that validates a break of the IB high, and then Q's ends up going and breaking its IB low. That would be nice. We got 10 minutes left. A lot of patience with it as well. So 25,690, and we'll go in for, on the Apex accounts, I'll do 1 MNQ. Actually, how much is the range? 690 up to 750, 60 points. So $240 risk if we do 2 MNQ. Blew out my funded joining the 2 micro gain. Joining the 2 micro gain now? Or did you blow them trading 2 micros? It'd be pretty hard to blow an account with 2 micros. Oh, joining it now. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say it'd be pretty hard to blow your account with 2 micros on a day like today. Almost up to 50%. We have 8 minutes left in the candle. Still too much time left. We're almost at 50%. IB by retracement. By rejection is who formed first, and then the chances of breaking. So basically, you're taking 2 steps in your chest and anticipate the retracement after the break. Low, you get by the rejection. So I think, yeah, we might be talking about 2 different reports, Alan. Or Alan begin. Alan begin. I think we might be talking about 2 different reports. So we almost have our entry here. SPY definitely looked like it's going to go take that high. So what we could do is we could wait for Qs to go a little bit higher than where it is right now. It's got 7 minutes left on the candle, so it's in our time frame. Oh, it's snowing out. Look at that. I'm going to put the limit sell in for 2 right there. Limit sell 2 right there. I'll put a limit sell for 1 right at 690, 6590. And then our stop loss is going to be high a day. Buy 2 stop, and our TP is going to be low a day. Right there. And that's going to be our trade off the IB. So it's going to be 690. 25,690 is going to be the entrance. entry. Jeez. ES and NQ in a battle over who will win. Yes, they are. Thank you, Bear. I don't know why I keep saying that. So we have the limit order at 25,690. That's right at 50% of the IB. We got 6 minutes left on the candle. Just about there. Report by retracement, report by rejection. Yeah, I think there are 2. I use the rejection one because it's telling you what's going to happen when you're looking at the IB. The retracement ones, I don't really use that one. I do have it. Actually, I don't even have it bookmarked, so I definitely don't use it. Oh, it's so close. 7 points off. So our stop limit is going to be up there. Stop by 2. right at high a day. And then our TP is going to be low a day. That's what we're going to have for the trade. It's almost at 50% right now. One more little push up. Come on. Oh, so close. Right there, off by like 4 cents. If it ends up dropping now, I'm going to be real sad. That just barely missed it. Just like that previous day's 50 trade. I'm going to try to be patient with it because that previous day's 50 still went up and hit that level. I should have put the market buy in though. This might be off by a little bit. I'm going to move it down a point or two. So 25.68, half a point, move down. 3 minutes left, so it's definitely within the time frame for us to front run it. I tried trading 2M and Q before, just felt way too slow to get a payout. How do you get over this? Just impatient for slow wins. Yeah, you got to be patient with it. Have to be patient. Some weird happenings outside today. Christmas stuff. You have to be patient with the 2M and Q. Market makers must be watching me. No kidding, man. It's happened with previous days 50 just earlier too. What's going on, Steve? How you doing? Retracement report is after it breaks. How far into IB it retraces. Usually good if you have a single IB break and very high percent chance. Today isn't that good for the stat. Gotcha. All right, just another 7 points, please. 2 minutes left. SPY also just rejected that London high. 4 points. Come on. We could still enter right now. The only thing that would skew, just increase the risk by 4 points, decrease the reward by 4 points. So make a 8-point variance on the trade. TP is going to be down to 25,627. So once we get filled, it's going to be a 60-point drop. Well, if the next 15-minute candles to be bearish, then it ought to be a wick up a little before going down. I hope. I hope. I don't want to miss it. It looks like it's really struggling at this level too, which you share a bit Zinc. The buy rejection talks about chances of breaking after formation, so you anticipate the low break. But I don't get the 50% stuff. The 50% is just your entry. And the reason that I use 50% is it coincides with my previous day's 50 and London 50 in the way that I use those. Because price really likes to retrace 50% of whatever move it's making and then going in the direction that you're looking for. So 50%, the reason I entered there is just because it's a powerful level. No report for that, just an experience. Now you can see, obviously we didn't get an entry, which kind of stinks now. Oh man, it was off by 4 points. No, there's still a chance. We still got time. It just goes along with the Fibonacci levels and how price likes to retrace before it continues or expands. I'm very interested in your options for 2026. I know with 2025 year to date for options. Just love the consistency. Yeah, 2025 Well, it's not over quite yet. I'm at 76% year to date right now. The 10K is only at 30%, which kind of stinks because we were all the way up at 110% at one point. The 100K account is at 72.08 right now. So I can show that. I don't know if it will inverse on the screen, but that is at 72. I don't know if you guys can see that. 72.08% year to date on the 100K. Ask 100 to build me one like this. There we go. Order got filled. So we got our limit buy. Stop loss is going to be highs. 245. TP is going to be the low. And that is for the IB. Actually, it looks like we were off by a little bit. There we go. Got it on Apex as well. So this is the trade that we're looking for off of 50% of the IB. Go ahead and get rid of that for now. Finally filled. And we are looking for a rejection down to 50% of, or the full IB, not 50% of it. We're looking for a move all the way down to IB low based on this report right here. QQQ, IB by rejection, high form first. So we have a 78.95% chance of going to the low. Up 70x20 on the day. There you go. Patience is key. Yeah, no kidding. That was a bit of a sweat right there trying to get an entrance. Entry. God damn it. I can't stop saying it. Oh, it's pissing me off. Okay, so 25,689 was our entry. And we're looking for a move down to the IB low, which also goes with London low. Or previous day's low, sorry. And now we just gotta wait. And we'll move the stop loss up to break even once the trade is up $100, which is 25 points. What the hell, man? Why don't we just all collectively start calling our entries entrances? Sounds good. Glamorous. I have no idea why I started saying that. That literally like started last week, and it makes zero sense to me. There's no reason I'm saying entrance. Thank you. That's really impressive. Yeah, option selling is really consistent, except when we get into a little drawdown period like what we have right now. The divergence on SPY and Qs is quite wild at the moment. SPY should go and take its high, which is what I was mentioning might skew how this QQQ trade goes. Ideally, what happens is SPY does take its high, but Qs gets maybe up to previous day's 50 or London high, and then all the way back down. That would be ideal. We have all these open right now. Charts close. I want to enter here, but you already made your money for the day. You don't feel like losing the trading day. Nothing wrong with that at all, Steve. See you tomorrow, Friday, Monday. We'll see. Probably Friday. Probably Friday. I will not be live tomorrow. I will not be live on Thursday, obviously, unless you guys want me live right at Glopex Open on Thursday. Degenning some evals. Oops. Didn't mean to hit that. But no, have a Merry Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Have a Merry Christmas Eve as well, and then a Merry Christmas. And then I might see you guys on Friday. Friday is going to be nothing burger. Friday has no data. Wednesday, tomorrow is going to be a half day. So enjoy your week, everyone, if you are dipping out early. Can I ask why you don't trade FX or gold? We don't talk about gold in here. Gold is a slimy, skeevy son of a gun. I did long it the other night. I did. It took 15 minutes to hit. No, I didn't get wicked out. It took me 15 minutes to hit the TP. No, it's still not, my friend. It's done some not so nice things to me during New York session. I've burnt my hand on gold and I shall not go back. So SPY is going to be the only issue we have with this IB trade right now. And I hope that it goes and takes its high here pretty soon, which is 50 cents away. And then Qs starts declining again. But the divergence on these two is wild right now. Absolutely not. No silver. No silver. I just can't long shit at all-time highs. That's my problem. I have compulsion to short. That is something that everyone struggles with. Do not worry about that. It's not just longing at all-time highs. Everyone, every single trader struggles with looking at a chart, especially like gold. And you go and look at this chart and you're like, there's no way it can continue pushing at this rate. There's no way it can continue going up. And then you zoom out to the 24-hour time frame and it has continued going up like this for 3 months now. So every single person struggles with directional moves, mainly because you look at it and you're like, there's feasibly no way that it can continue doing this. I refuse to believe it. This trade is probably going to be open for a while. I have that feeling. So SPY is going to drag it up to probably previous day's 50, maybe up to the London high. And then once SPY breaks, we should have a pretty nice push down. It's something everyone struggles with. The main thing that has helped me with looking at a move, whether it's Qs on the 5-minute or gold on the 24-hour, it can continue pushing longer than you can imagine. It's what I continue thinking to myself every time I want to get into a trade on something that is continuing up. 80% of the time something's trending in a direction, it will continue trending in that direction. So why would you try to short it repeatedly or long it repeatedly if it's dropping? You want to continue trading into that trend, and you'll have an 80% win rate doing just that. And when it does pivot, the 20% of the time that it does pivot, just use that as your stop loss and stop trading for the day. When you have divergence, you're just being cautious, or you take some strategy with it. You just have to be cautious. What I want to see right now in SPY is it go and take the high and then have Qs go back down and take the low. But right now we're down 35 on the trade, so it's not too bad. Markets can defy logic longer than you can remain solvent. Absolutely. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, so don't beat yourself up too much, Bob. It's something that everyone has and will continue to struggle with. I even find myself in situations sometime where I'm looking at gold on the 5-minute, and I just think to myself, no way this shit can continue going that high. There's no way. And then next thing you know, you find yourself shorting it at 10 at night, trying to catch the top, and the thing just breaks up another 10 points. Something every single person struggles with. All right, SPY is almost at the high break. We got another 30 cents to go. And I'm actually kind of liking Qs struggling as much as it is right now. SPY is slowly trending up. Qs is trying to follow. Not doing too well at it. These are the Tradeify accounts, Steve. These aren't the Lucid ones. Lucid I already locked out for the day. show you right here. In Lucid, I made the $70 profit last night and locked it out promptly. I will not be adding to this now. We're almost there on SPY. This divergence is being a little annoying. This is our previous day's 50 right here. I mean, if it does end up going and breaking the high, it's a 15% outcome, so it's not really much that we can do about that. It's gonna tip our hat to it, but it's the divergence from SPY. SPY is being a little shit. Not really interested in adding more. We're almost at the break on SPY. We just need to hold on a little bit longer on Qs. And then again, if it does end up being a loss, it's going to be a 15% outcome. And not really much we can do about that. If it does happen losing as well, this will be back-to-back losses because I did lose on the IB yesterday. But if this will be, first off, back-to-back losses, but this is our first loss on the IB in like 16 or 17 trading days. Albeit some of those trading days we didn't really take that big of a win, but still a win nonetheless. SPY has another 20 cents to go, 18 cents to go, 16, 15. As soon as it breaks that high, what I want to see is a wick just like we had at 9:45. Nice rejection on Qs. We're currently down 73 on that trade right now, and 38 because I'm in one MNQ on Apex. Damn divergence. Or SMT, whatever it is. This is why I like your IB stat or IB strat so much, flipping bias based on IB forming and the stat backs a certain move. Yeah, this is pretty uncharacteristic for it this week, which I guess is just because of a low data week, but usually you have both of these pointing in the same direction. SPY yesterday had uncanny strength compared to Qs. Qs was flat to red for pretty much the entire day, and SPY just continued making new highs all the way up until 1, and then ended up doing the same thing today. So Qs, we want a rejection right here. We got 2 minutes left on it. This would honestly be the same thing that happened on, same thing that happened yesterday. It looked like it was going to go and take the high and then pivoted. Kind of similar on Friday last week, just didn't get as far. Thursday, I guess kind of similar there as well. It's just because of SPY. So we want SPY to fulfill its stat and Qs. SPY has another 15 cents to go. Needs to reverse here. That it does. Also a break on ES is coming. I mentioned it earlier, but what I could have done is waited. Obviously, hindsight 2020, I could have waited on SPY to break its IB and then taken the short on NQ, and that would have been the ideal entry or the much better entry there. But them being as diverged as they are right now, it's not helping. Still in the trade, though. Still good. No adding into losing positions. We could add right now, but I haven't been adding into red positions because most of the time it just ends up causing more red for no reason. I mean, it helps people like me who tend to get married to a certain bias. So I like the fluidity of your bias depending on how things develop with the IB. And if the stat doesn't quite work out, well, then it's just how it goes. Yep, it's just how the cookie crumbles. Could have erred on the side of caution with that divergence today, but the stat should still fulfill. If it doesn't, then we just got unlucky. That's simple as that. We have 15 more minutes on the stream. There will be those days, yeah. The most important thing is just keep the sizing consistent. Like what we could have done is get a little worried about the first trade and then size up to 4 MNQ on this one as opposed to staying with 2 MNQ and get worried about that. And then, yeah, it causes a whole mess. I will be right back momentarily. Just give me a minute here. Gotta see what's going, all the commotion out there. Dogs are going nuts. Oh, now previous days 50 wants to work. Funny how that is, huh? To be fair, MNQ and QQQ were kind of stalling just below the IB50 level. It kind of looks exactly like it's going to roll over and not quite sync with SPY as much as it did. SPY got very close to breaking the high right there. I still think this will work out today. We just obviously could have gotten a much better entry if we had waited. But that is what comes with the trading. If we all knew exactly where to enter, we'd all be millionaires. There wouldn't be any market makers. Could actually, since I only have one on these, I'll add another one right now on Apex. Just on Apex though, just because I only had one on this. So now I have two MNQ positions. I know I was just saying I don't usually add in or haven't been adding into losers, but oops, I need that to be 4. Sell 4 and sell 4. Oh, that's not the right one actually. I was supposed to put buy up there. There we go. And now I just gotta wait. I'm in at 7-Eleven. No, I still have it open. I'm still in the trade. My entry was 25,689. Oh my gosh, I finally said entry instead of entrance. Finally. If previous days 50 ends up bouncing right now, I'm going to be so disappointed. Come on, SPY. Just go and take it so we have no more draw upside. Draw on the upside, and then Qs can just go and plummet. You're considering getting Lucid and or Tradeify accounts to mess around with. I think Lucid 25Ks are pretty good options. I like both of them. What's my average entry now? 701. Not bad. And then TP is going to be 90 points away on 2 MNQ. That'd be nice. SPY got very close to breaking, but they're diverging even more now. Why couldn't they have just lined up together, gone and broken together? This trade will likely be running after the stream is over. TP and stop loss are as is. And if the IB gets invalidated up here, so be it. Come on, SPY, go and break it. We just need SPY to go and take this level, and then we have no upside draw. $620. Of course, we're getting a bounce off. Could have gotten that bounce earlier when we were in the long. Charts are being mean this week. Oops. SPY is basically at that IB break, 686.25. And that is the stat getting fulfilled, which we covered earlier. This is just a 50-50 that SPY was going to go and break that high, which is even more of a kick in the nuts if this trade loses today, because this isn't a statistically significant stat for SPY going and breaking the high. If so, this is going to be a frustrating trade. I feel like this is going to be an all afternoon type thing. Yeah, do it. Why not? Trade 30 accounts, 5 on Lucid, 5 on Apex, or 5 on Tradeify, 5 on Lucid, 20 on Apex. MNQ wanting Monday's highs possibly is your biggest threat. Yeah, SPY is the biggest threat right now. This is being a pain. That is the entry that I had earlier. Longs targeting yesterday's high, but previous day's 50 didn't want to work. And now it is, which is just unfortunate. Maybe it's the arrow that's making us screwed up right now. It's not looking all that good. We're down 130 on it right now. They're diverging a little bit less. They're kind of, Q's is catching up to SPY a little bit. It's not looking as good as it was earlier. It's worrying me a little bit. If this ended up, so the reason I have 4 MNQ on this, or I had two MNQ trades, so 4 MNQ for the day, is this is still an eval. Obviously, this is still an eval on Apex as well, but this is how I would trade on the 25K funded as well. So at worst, we're going to be down like 220 on the day if this trade ends up hitting stop loss, which I'm not too worried about because that's recoverable into the next day. I just want to validate why I'm trading with a 240 stop on Tradeify. Still in the eval phase, because I get that question quite a bit as well. How do I trade evals as opposed to fundeds? And I just size up a little bit, 2x to 4x the size on evals. Because obviously you don't want to be trading them forever, but at the same time you don't want to go and churn them with 2 NQ trades. Qs is showing a little bit more strength now, which I do not like. SPY hasn't really been moving up. Qs is moving up, meaning they're diverging less, but still just going to have the trade left open. And then again, if it ends up being a loss, it's a loss, and we'll move on to the next trading day. OQs. It's a good rejection right there. A little tiny one, but still good. ES broke the IB. It did. Let's see. It did. You are correct. It's weird that SPY didn't. But if ES did, then that should be that draw to the upside gone, and we should have a nice flush all the way down now. But the issue I see here is that SPY did not break it. It's actually a great point as to why I chart on Qs and not on ES, because of that type of slippage. Now ES is well back over the IB high. Slippage on futures assets. Qs is going to go take it now, isn't it? There we go. SPY is over it. So that should be our draw to the upside gone. And that was only a 50-50 stat, which is even more upsetting. I don't see anything wrong with the trade that we're in right now. It's not 8% over what the average is. It's 6% over. SPY finally broke the IB high, so this one should come down. Q should also drag it down. Do I trade Mondays and Fridays or just Tuesday through Thursday? I trade Mondays and Fridays. I trade every day of the week in the Discord and my personal Discord. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm live on the edgeful platform. So edgeful, YouTube, my YouTube, X, Kit, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, X on both. Is that an inside bar on the hourly on NQ? Let's take a look. It is, yes. Yes, it is. We did open within yesterday's range, but we broke it pre-market, so that stat would not be valid. I usually use that one in the morning as well, even though this says open within yesterday's range. Never mind. Guess I'm wrong. So we should have our draw to the upside gone now, which I still don't want to add in, but if I were to add in, this would be a pretty good point to add to MNQ. But as it stands right now, it's already a losing trade, so there's no reason to pile into it. The hourly looks strong. Yeah, it's not looking too good for our shorts. It's also closing over. I could have stopped out on that 5 minute that closed over the IB. Could have done a lot differently. Could have gotten a better entry waiting for SPY. This kind of screwed us today. SPY having the IB high still intact, or the IB low targeting the IB high. Qs is still valid for the low. I've seen crazier things. I've seen it get like 10 cents away before and then go and break the low, vice versa. Can go to 784 today. That it can. I did that first trade we were in. We had longs off previous day's 50, which didn't work. Targeting up to previous day's high. Stopped out. Got a really unfortunate move down, made a new IB low, so we switched bias, and now it pivoted all the way back up, which is a little unfortunate. I don't really want to add into a losing trade, so I'm just going to have to wait and sit it out. But this is what I'm going to have running for the rest of the day. It is 20 points away from the stop loss and a whole 110 points away from the TP. We're going to have a hell of a move back down to validate that stat. But we did fulfill the IB high break on SPY, which I do like to see. But that will, we just hit 11, so we'll be done there. That will do it for the stream today. I will have this trade running regardless. I'm not going to add into it. Stop loss, IB high, take profit, IB low. Could add in right now. It would be a little risky, but it would be a really good risk reward on that second entry. Might even hit it before I'm done wrapping up here. And what the hell, we can... No, that's going to make us lose another 70 for no reason. Or 80. Tempted, very tempted, but not going to break any rules there. All right, that will do it for today, guys. Sorry about the loss. And if this ends up losing as well, sorry about that. But not really much we can do about having a 15% outcome hit. Screener should have been bearish as well. Screener is actually bullish, never mind. So ends up being a loss. It is what it is. It will be down about 220, 240 on the day for Apex. I'll have to climb back there. All right, guys, I will see you later. I will not be live tomorrow. I will not be live on Thursday. I think the reasoning there is obvious. Any questions for me before I head out? Obviously not the pre-Christmas stream that we wanted. Got very unlucky with that first long, which is working out now, and now we're hitting a 15% stat in the IB trade, which is even more upsetting. I think it only peaked at like $30 or $40 green, so no trailing the stop loss either. All right, guys, see you later. Edgeful is not free. No, they're not free. Merry Christmas, everyone.